V'zehu shoresh inyan v'ikhu elech Hashem in zayzach kasis lamar chulu. And this is the root of the concept of that they should take to you the pure olive oil crushed to the luminary and so forth. However, first we have to explain the level of Moshe, Shnekter Shushvina de Malka Canal, who's called the escort of the king, that we explained above in the concept of outside the curtain, that it's an elevation from below to the curtain to above the curtain. This is what the menorah is, to elevate from below to above. That's all the idea of elevating the feminine waters, a feminine concept of arousal from below to above, from the worlds of Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya to the world of Atzilus. But Moshe is a concept of an escort of the king. That's the idea of the masculine waters, that purifies the feminine waters, the masculine arousal that greets the feminine arousal. And this is so if the concept of the Mein Nukvin is Simcha Shel Mitzvah, the concept of from above to below is the concept of the Torah, somebody whose Torah study is their work, Kemelech Shegozer, like a king who decrees, Mamer, Masnisa Malkasa, like the statement that the Mishnah is the king, a masculine aspect, like it says in my words that I have placed in your mouth from above to below, as has been explained, and this is the idea of that Torah is a light. And even though we explained above in the source of Torah that it's a concept of hairs, that's below the idea of the whiteness. So the whiteness is the source of the mitzvos, and the hair, the letters, the source for the Torah. So that seems to be a lower level, and now we're saying that the Torah is a higher level. It's the masculine in comparison to the feminine, which is the mitzvos, mitzvos, that the levanonis, which is the source, the whiteness, which is the source of the mitzvos. Nonetheless, as these lights come down, and they're enclosed, mitzvos yardu lamata, the mitzvahs were descended below. The mitzvahs were enclosed in the lower worlds of Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya, Mash'enkin Torah, which is not the case with the Torah. The Torah remains a concept of light, linear mitzvah, to this candle of the mitzvah lamata, that as it is below, al kol panim, at least, as it is below. And that's why Moshe is called the escort of the king. And Aaron is called the escort of the matron, of the bride, of the king, of the queen, bilvad alone. And that's why when Aaron lights the candles, it doesn't say that it's for to be a constant light, like the light of Moshe in the first pasuk that's referring to Moshe. But by Moshe it says you should command to lift up a constant light, because in the world of Atzilus that we say that Hashem and his vessels and lights, his lights and his vessels are all one. There's no concept of the elevation and the going up and going down and changes like there is in the world, the lower worlds. And therefore the light is always lifted up there. Which is not the case in the lower worlds. It says outside the curtain you should set up these lights, and so you have this constant candle. It's not a evening till morning kind of light, rather in Atzilus you have no ups and downs. Rather, it's a constant light. The Ner Tamid, the light of the Torah, didn't descend like the light of the mitzvos, and therefore the light of the Torah is this light that doesn't go out, to shine to the Ner mitzvah. V'yidua de Moshe hu bechinas chochma datzilos, as is known that Moshe is the idea of wisdom of the world of Atzilus, Yisod Abba, or so and so forth. Valkin ha'ikvad perchulu, and therefore Moshe had trouble, had his this speech impediment because he was so high beyond the lower worlds. And that's why it says to Moshe, you should bring Aaron close to you. That is, that Moshe should elevate Aaron and bring him up also to the world of Atzilus, to elevate the level of Aaron, to be included in him. That in each world, the concept of Moshe is what is the level beyond the curtain. In that world, Parshas Yisrael al pasuk Moshe daber, and look in what by the Mamer of Parshas Yisrael, what it says, the Moshe will speak, Elokim yanenu, and Elokim will answer him. So you have the concept of the Elokim is the hidden levels below in the lower worlds. So Moshe speaks, meaning draws down to those lower levels, and the Elokim answers it, meaning is elevated towards him. So this is a concept of elevating the lower levels to the world of Atzilus from the revelation of the concept of Chachma of Moshe from above to below. And this is the idea that you should take, that they should take to you the olive oil, Vaata. And that because the concept of and you who bechinas chachma de Moshe, that's the idea of wisdom of Moshe. All of Davka Yikhushim, and to that level specifically, the wisdom. That's where they should take this oil lavar birurim in order to purify the sparks that fell. Because the order of the purification of the sparks is first the sparks from Atzilus get elevated, because the idea is that it falls from Atzilus and the sparks get included in Atzilus, and it falls into Biyah, and each world takes more sparks until it falls to the lowest level. So first the world of Atzilus is elevated, and then from Atzilus to the lower worlds of Bria, Yitzhak, and Asiyah. And since it's specifically the letters from the level of Chachma, that's where you have this purification from, because the father founds the daughter. That the daughter in general is the concept of Malchus, the concept of letters. So the letters of wisdom are from Chachma. So the letters of the Torah are originating this concept of wisdom that you can purify with. And this is what gives the strength to Aaron lahalus nerus hulu, to elevate and light the candles and so forth below. It's called, and this is the idea of the malachim that are called the male horses, or the concept of like by Paro, that you had female horses before the male horses, that the female horses run after the male horses. That the concept of the malachim is the concept of letters, and the horse can carry you to a very far place. So to the letters, you have a concept of elevation of the sparks back upwards, and the feminine horses follow after the male horses. So this concept of the letters from Abba will elevate the letters, the osios of the Shvira, that the is known, that it's brought the word bracha to explain the concept of shvira, that you had the concept of the osios, the kelim are the concept of letters as well. And so in order to elevate these letters back to the letters of Chachma, so this is an idea of susim nukvin and susim zacharim. They have this concept of the masculine horses, like it's explained in another place. And therefore it says from Bnei Israel, This is a statute forever. Me'alef ad taf. Me'es b'nei Israel. So from b'nei Israel, from the ace of b'nei Israel, that's from the aleph to the taf, meaning to say the letters of the aleph bays. Yesh chukas olam lahalos aneros chulu. So that the fact that it says by the candles, that this is a statute forever, it's from the letters, the elevation of the sparks within the broken vessels of the letters. So this is a concept of forever, to to elevate these lights back up to beyond the paroches, to the level of Moshe, to the wisdom of Atzilos, the osios of the susim zcharim. ואתה תצווה, and that's why it says, and you should command, ואתה דווקא, specifically you, לפי שבמשה, תלוי הדבר, that it's dependent upon Moshe ben הבירורים שמלמטה למעלה, whether we're talking about the elevation from below to above, Shalidei Aaron canal, which happens through Aaron, that Aaron also needs the level of Moshe to elevate it, and light the lights of the menorah, or whether we're talking about an elevation that goes as the process of from above to below. There's also a concept of purification of the levels from above to below. And afterwards Aaron is, so this is the first idea of Moshe that everything depends on. Afterwards Aaron is commanded to elevate the candles from below, like it says right after, that Aaron should set them up. And if it was, and from Moshe, Aaron would not be able to set up the candles for the reason we explained. And from all this we can answer why Moshe was commanded with this mitzvah, that they should take to him the pure oil, the pure olive oil, and also by the fact that by him it states a constant candle, but by Aaron it says from evening till morning, because elevating the feminine waters from the lower worlds into Atzilus is through the concept of Malchus that goes down into the lower worlds to elevate the sparks back up. And the source of the creation of time is specifically with the concept of kingship of the Malchus as it comes into the lower worlds. And that's the, so to speak, evening until morning specifically is in Malchus. But beyond Malchus, it's going to be a constant because it's beyond time. Like we say, that Hashem was king, is king, and will be king over Hov. So you have a concept of past, present, and future here. Or because in the concept of kingship, which is this idea of revelation and spreading out of light, that's where you can have this concept of past, present, and future. And look in the Mamer about returning Israel, but the essence of godliness is beyond time. As is known, the reason that's brought in Eitz Chaim, that positive commandments that are dependent upon time, women are not obligated, because the source of time is in the feminine aspect, and therefore, because they're from that aspect, they're not obligated to elevate those levels. And therefore, it says by the candles that Aaron lifts up, that Aaron is called the escort of the bride. Me'eravad boker, it says from evening until morning. Shuklos hazman b'yud beis tzirufi delayla v'yud beis tzirufi diyom, which is the general concept of time with 12 combinations of Hashem's name, and the 12 in the day of the nighttime, and the 12 combinations of the daytime. Mash'ein came b'Moshe shenikra ish ha'elokim shulamayl min b'chinas hazman, which is not the case by Moshe, who's called the man of Hashem, the man of Elokim. Meaning to say the Elokim is the concept of Malchus, but Moshe is the Isha Elokim, the husband of this Elokim, meaning to say he's the master of it beyond it, and gives hashpah to it, meaning to say he's higher than this level, so he's beyond the time that is represented by the flow that comes from Elokim. So Moshe is higher than the concept of time. So that's by Moshe it says that to lift up a constant candle, and like we explained,